Okay, so this is a Terran opponent. This guy is called Lazy Boy. Do you think he's talking about the type of chair, or do you think he's Lazy Boy? I put way too much, like, thinking into people's nicknames. I don't know why. I haven't seen an SCV scout yet, which makes me a little bit worried. Sometimes if they, like, most of the time when people seem to skip SCV scouts these days, it always seems to be like a proxy. But this guy says Lazy Boy, so he can't be going for a proxy, right? He's got to be playing mech. It's a little bit of a lazier style. Oh, not quite. So this is that weird, like, this is a bunch, I've seen a bunch of pros, or a bunch of, like, people on the ladder do this threat recently. I don't know exactly where it's come from, but I think a spine crawler might be reasonable. We'll just go for that build that we saw Serral play a whole lot recently. I haven't practiced it a lot yet. Basically, we go for a Lair here at like 3.5 minutes, leaving 2 drones in gas. He's been doing this against both Terran and Protoss, which is what makes it most interesting to me. He must feel like really confident about this. So it's basically 2-base Muta, like the old school 2-base Muta opener. I would like to make a natural here, or a 3rd base though here. Oh no. Oh my god. World League Micro Loco. Nice. Okay. I don't know if he's got any upgrades. Okay, he's getting Medivacs right now. Okay. Okay. No third base, though. I'm a little bit confused by this whole style. Like, what's the point? You think he's just really scared right now? I'm not very comfortable yet playing Mutalisk. I've only been doing it a couple days now. I've been making non-stop units here for a while, by the way. Playing super cautiously. Okay, once I see the Marines.
New subscriber detected.
Oh, okay. Whew. Got him. Nice. I've been thinking about it quite a bit, actually. So, for those of you unfamiliar, here, let me open up... He did it in game number 1 as well. Serral has been going for this build order recently that's technically kind of old school. I don't really know exactly why he's doing it, but I think he just likes it because he's been playing it in both Zerg vs Terran and then also in Zerg vs Protoss. So he does it a couple times in this series against Klim, and he also does it against, like in another series against Neep. So he's been playing a similar approach in all those games. Now, the weird thing is, he's the only one playing this build because I've not seen anyone else execute it. So I've watched a lot of Zerg games over the last couple of weeks, and only Serral seems to be going for this strategy right now. So I don't really know exactly. Since Serral is doing it, though, I suspect that a lot of the pros are going to be executing it pretty soon. I think it's mostly due to the fact that both Terran and Protoss have gotten pretty good at trying to deny the third base. And I guess it's just, like, really safe overall. So it's one of those builds that you don't really get messed with very much. Okay, so here's what he does. It's standard hatch gas pool. So 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. Then he goes for the double queen here in a little bit. It's Overlord at 21, if I recall correctly. 20. Maybe he actually doesn't make an OV here at all. Nah, he just starts up 2 queens immediately and then goes for Overlord afterwards. Okay. So 3 drones in gas initially. Mines until 100. Then he pulls 1 drone out of gas. The standard one is to go for 2 drones out of gas at this point in the game. So 2 sets of Zerglings here. 2 queens. Then he drones up to 32. And then he makes 2 additional queens. Supply blocking himself at 36. And he does this every time. So it's the same thing every time. Supply blocks himself at 36. So that's 4 queens now in total. Still no third base. And then he goes for double Overlord at 36. So 1 Overlord and then a second Overlord. And basically once this Lair, or once this queen finishes, since he pulled 1 drone out of gas, he's going to be at about 100. And he can go for the Lair here immediately. So the first 2 queens, they inject once, and then they're dedicated to creep spreading after that. The new queens basically carry the task right now instead. So he goes Lair, adds the drone back to gas, and then a second gas instead of the main base too. And this will allow you to be perfectly at 200 gas right when the Lair finishes. And then he finally looks for a third. Now normally, we see players taking the third base before even starting the queens. And at latest, we see them taking the third base at about 31 supply. Usually what you want to do if you go for that version of the build is you rally the 28th drone. So that one gets made in the natural. You rally that one over to the third base and then you produce it at like 30, 31-ish supply. Right now though, Serral makes it at like 48-ish. It's very odd. Like, I'm not sure. On some maps, it makes sense. Like, say, for example, Eternal Empire. On Eternal Empire, if your third base gets blocked, the entire, like, strategy just sort of messes up. Here's a game on Eternal Empire. It makes sense because on this map, like, if this base gets blocked, so if the third base gets blocked, like, where do you take it? Like, where do you take it if this base gets blocked? Do you take it over here? No. I think my last theory on it is that, like, Serral is just trying to branch out into other build orders. So there's a good chance that that is the case. Because everyone's been playing against the same builds that he's been playing for years now. So maybe he's just trying to mix it up and force the opponents to, you know, continue scouting and not play so greedy against him. Because a lot of people cut a lot of corners against him. So maybe that's the reason. Anyways, I do like the strat though. In for example, the game I just played, we basically went for a variation of it. And when they like block your third base with a NG bay, it's really good. He did it as well recently though in another series against Neep, which was Stay at Home Story Cup. On Simulacrum, it was even stranger. So this was the first game where I ever saw Serral play that strat. Now look at this one. This one makes very little sense. So same opener again. Hatch gas pool. And like Protoss doesn't usually block your third base, so you don't necessarily need to go for this build. I'm not sure though. Maybe he's run some numbers and maybe he actually likes it better, or maybe the difference is so minimal that it's like not even really worth worrying about, then it's just gonna like create more variety. I'm not sure. But once again, 2 queens first, inject once, double tumor afterwards. In ZVP, he connects the main to the natural first. Yeah, on this map, it makes very little sense because you can take this as your third base as well. But I know Serral doesn't really like that. But anyways, so it's once again Lair, second gas taken. Now, rather than going Spire in this game, he goes straight into a Hydra den. And then what is probably the strangest attack I've seen in a while at this level, like this early on into the game. A push that is without Hydra speed and without Hydra ranged. So he goes for like a bunch of Zerglings here. So 46 or 44 drones rather, which is like 3 base saturation or 2 base saturation. Then he starts non-stop Zerglings and then he makes 8 Hydras. And then he goes straight back into droning. Now look at this. Here's the 8 Hydras. They have no upgrades. They have nothing. Like they're getting themselves the Hydra speed upgrade right now. And then I guess this is where like Neep was also like, what the hell is this? He just comes in and then snipes the sentries and then he leaves again. He's like, okay, that was fun. Bye. But that's actually such a strong move. Anyway, so he drones after that, goes into Hydra-ling-bane, skips the Roach Warren entirely. Now, I've tried this strategy against Protoss, and I just lost every single time. Like, basically, if your opponent goes for any Adept variant or any, like, War Prism variant, you're in a lot of trouble. Because you just die to Archon, so you just die to, like, well, most things. So, I don't know. I wouldn't advise going for this strategy, but I do like it against Terran quite a bit. And I guess it's something to, like, study and, like, actually look at specifically for when you're in a situation where you can't take your third base, you know? Because this would, at the very least, be the next best thing. Anyways, Zerg versus Terran on Golden Wall. Should we go for the same build? Except a much worse execution? May as well. Hey, by the way, if you guys are new here, don't forget to hit the follow button. I stream Monday through Saturday, 2 to 8 p.m. CEST. Usually. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. Those are my normal times. If you follow here, you get notified whenever I go live.
New subscriber detected.
What's going on, Twilly?
Twitch Prime. Did you know can support your favorite streamer with Twitch Prime?
Really? Oh my god. That sounds amazing, dude. Hey, thank you. 9 months of Twitch Prime. And how much did that cost you, Twilly? It was included with your Amazon Prime, so it didn't cost you anything? Whoa. And what? The streamer still gets paid? So he went double queen here. And 2 sets of Zerglings, right? And then an OV at 27. I believe. There it is. Pull 1 drone out of gas. Link speed. Okay. Now we queue up 2 more queens. So in ZVP, I guess you have to connect your natural and your main a little bit quicker. That 1 OV over here right now, and then another OV at 36. The intentional supply blocks make me feel really smart. Okay, there's the Lair. Gas. And now we start looking for a third. I panicked and made extra Zerglings, like a couple. Don't think actually you want to make extra Zerglings here. I don't know the exact timing that he goes for on the Lair, but or on the Baling Nest rather. Okay, so now we start non-stop army. You know what? I'm gonna start up 2 more queens here. So that way we can like, yeah, I think it's a good idea. So we have 4 queens. And then we're gonna have 6 here in a little bit. Ooh, it's a Banshee. Hello? Whew.
Our bosses, we require more minerals. We must place that on creep. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. Spawn. We require more minerals.
It's a little bit strange though, isn't it?
We require more minerals.
So he sees the spire right now, and I guess this is where we take map control and we try and like get whatever value we can.
We require more minerals. We require more vessels.
So no third base yet for this Terran player.
We require more Our forces are under attack. Spawn more overlords. Not enough energy. Spawn more overlords. Not enough energy. Spawn.
Oh, wow. He really wanted those. This guy does not like Mutalisk. Okay, so he's going for a gold.
More minerals.
Do you think I can push that?
Metamorphosis. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. A creep tumor is under attack. We require more minerals. Are under attack. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. Minerals. We require more minerals.
Okay.
Are under attack. We require more minerals.
1-1 is gonna finish here in a little bit.
Mineral mutation. Mineral field depleted.
Oh, I thought I had the correct muta.
Mineral field depleted. Mutation.
Okay. Well, that was good.
Gas. We require more vespers.
Whew. I do feel pretty good now playing mutas though. Compared to like a couple of days ago anyway.
Mineral field depleted.
Still a lot of improvements I can make for sure, but...
We require more minerals. Our forces are under attack.
It's gonna be an all-in now for him.
Overlords.
Could be.
We require more minerals.
Ooh. He's gonna try and start it up over there?
We require more.
Do I not just push that? Especially if he's making Thors?
We require more minerals.
Okay, now the Zerglings go in.
Forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted.
Good.
We require.
Super easy to like accidentally lose everything here though.
We require more minerals. We
I should really be bringing some Overseers. too easy to lose all of my stuff to a couple of Widow Mines.
We require our forces are under attack. Mutation complete. We require more Vespine gas. We require more Vespine gas.
Is he really trying again?
Not enough energy. We require more Vespine gas.
Swarm! Got him! The Bombas did some work there, though. That was a good one. That actually worked out really quite nicely there. Hydra-ling-bane. I haven't played Hydra-ling-bane very much over like the last, I would say, 3-4 years. It's been a long while. But when it goes well, it's really satisfying. There's no denying that it's one of the most satisfying comps to play in SC2. Like, it's really, it feels really good.